The business field and the battlefield is no different. They bleed blood. If they do something wrong, we bleed money. And then if you bleed enough money, you end up eating a bullet and then bleeding blood. I was never a great leader. I realize now the weakest link will show up and it'll be the strongest part of that chain. The weakest link will be the strongest part of that chain. And for me, it was leadership. I was a poor communicator. I was passive aggressive. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And so I just kind of kept everything to myself. And then when I finally was to the point where I'm just fed up, I would explode at an employee, which really messed up my employee retention rate, as you can imagine. One day I had 3 employees quit on the same day. Like, that's how bad of a leader I was, man. And by the way, that's out of a total of 9 employees. It's like a third of my staff quit.
Yeah.
Right? A third of my staff quit. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I'm obviously the problem.
Yeah.
I'm not a good visionary. I'm not a great leader. I'm the problem. And so frustrated, ready to quit franchising, I sat in my car and I'm listening to Howard Stern. And he's interviewing a guy named Howard Wasden, a Navy SEAL from the 90s who wrote a memoir. And in his memoirs, so I bought the book because Howard Stern said you should read the book, and I'm a big Howard Stern fan, so I bought the book and read it. And in it, I learned things like how to prioritize and execute, and how to have a mission outline before you go and get on a mission, and what the vision of that mission should be. What do you want to achieve? And, you know, for them, for the SEALs, do you want to kill someone? Do you want to capture the bad guy? Do you want to just gather intel? For me, I was like, if you asked me, Bedros, how many locations do you want with Fit Body Bootcamp? I would have said a lot. And if you said, well, when do you want to buy? I would say, Jake, as soon as possible. That is a very unclear mission and vision. Yeah. So once I got clarity on all that stuff, I just kept reading one Navy SEAL book after another. 1, the stories were fascinating. And 2, the lessons from them in the battlefield were directly translated into the business field. Like, every SEAL knows all the important skills: how to be a breacher, how to be an assaulter, how to be a sniper. Now, like, I understand their language now. I've read, like, in like a 3-year period, I read 14 books, right? And then I just kept reading their books because I'm like, holy crap, the business field and the battlefield is no different. They bleed blood. If they do something wrong, we bleed money. And then if you bleed enough money, you end up eating a bullet and then bleeding blood afterwards. And so for me, as I began to level up in leadership, as I read those books, my business changed, my employee retention changed, my franchises were blowing up. And so because of that, it was like a 5-year transformation. At the end of that 5 years, I just said, I'm gonna write this book for anyone else who's got great ideas, wants to do something big in terms of business, but doesn't know how to lead. Like, leadership is the problem, leadership is the solution. And so there's 6 pillars of entrepreneurial leadership that I talk about in here that make someone a high-performing human. Those 6 pillars I developed over those 5-year period, and it's completely transformed me, not only in my business, but in my relationship with my wife, my kids, my friends, my business partners. Now I've got 7 different companies. They're either doing multiple 7 figures, 8 figures, or 9 figures. And I just keep acquiring more companies, because when you are squared away, you attract people, business, good things. When you're a loser like I was, as a leader, I was repelling some of my best employees, best franchisees, and almost lost my wife and kids. Wow. And so looking back now, I wrote the book, went on sale in 2018, it's 2021 now. I still look back and go, what would I have added to it? What would I have changed? Like, nothing. I decided to be fully vulnerable, put it all in there. You know, have I become a better leader since? Yes. Am I always going to get better? Yes. As I go, I'm a work in progress. It's like, you know, leadership, I realize, is you never arrive at your best level of leadership, and the moment you stop, it's a perishable muscle. It begins to atrophy.